Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and on this one I'm gonna check out the new Palmer Super SOAKER, which is an attenuator reactive load, and well, we're actually gonna check out what more it is, or is it. The signal chain, this is my heavily Frankeyed Frankie. So the body is the EVH Frankie, the neck is, even though it has ESP, this is a Warmouth neck, 12 to 16 compound radius. The pickups are Seymour Duncan 78 and Seymour Duncan vintage stack, like stacked single coil, so it's hum cancelling. Can't remember the model, but you know, it works great with this one. Kind of vintage low output thing. And so yeah, three-way pickup switch. Then into my pedal board, where I'm going to use an 808 Screamer, which is a copy of original, you know, TS808 Ibanez 2 Screamer. Then it goes into Peavey 5150 black letter. From the black letter speaker out to Palmer's speaker out to a Marshall 96 BX cabinet, where I'm miking the greenback 25 watt greenback with the SM57 and SC Electronics X1R ribbon mic. Then the sound goes to my Warm Audio's WA412 mic pre, and then into Logic. So first, now there's nothing on, so it's full blast. The amp goes to the cabinet and it sounds like this. Classic 5150. So I'm having the 2 Screamer in front. I'm not using any drive, just a level and tone boost. I like how the amp feels with the TS808. Obviously it works fine without one, but I like the tightness and the feel what I get with 808. Okay, so that was the amp without anything. Then let's go these controls one by one. So then there's the speaker attenuator. It's like this portable, so you can't, you know, do it like, let's say, on the Fryette, where it's continuous. So this goes in the steps. There's 6 steps, and then full attenuation, which bypasses, you know, mutes the cabinet altogether. So if you want, you know, like to just use a impulse response. So okay, now let's go from no attenuation to number 1. Increase the volume here. I'm trying to, you know, keep the levels around the same. So you and I haven't tried this, so we'll hear if there's difference. Okay, that sounds pretty similar to me than without one. Then let's go to attenuation 2. Maybe the highs gets tamed a bit. Okay, then let's attenuation 3. Okay, now I feel it's darker than the amp without an attenuation. There's some EQ curves, we're gonna check them out soon. Okay, attenuation 4. Six. Okay, now I can really crank the amp, and it stays fairly quiet. So the cabinet is in another room, isolated room, but without an attenuation, I could hear and feel the, you know, rumble. Okay, so now we are attenuation 5. I feel this is still very loud. The master is at 3.5, and now I don't hear the cabinet there, and I couldn't hear it on 3. On the first 2 there was kind of little, so I'm not sure how much in decibels it attenuates, but you know, fairly moderately. This is like not a bedroom level, but I think the number 6 we're entering bedroom level. Oh yeah. So now the master is almost known and it's really quiet. Okay, this is a bit too much because now I feel I need to do level matching when I'm editing. I feel the tone is quite a bit duller than without attenuation. So the first 2, it was kind of the same. The more you attenuate, at least based on what I hear, you know, it doesn't sound like it sounded without attenuation, which is with many attenuators in my experience is the case, except with Fryette Power Station. We're gonna get into that soon. I'm gonna compare. I feel the sweet spot with the master post gain on this particular amp is between 3 and 4. There where I usually have it, and then I attenuate it accordingly, because with Fryette there's no, you know, presets, but it goes, you know, like this. So it's really easy to dial the sweet spot from the amp and the volume that hits the speakers, because now I'm using 25-watt greenbacks, and the louder you play into them, the more they distort. So I actually prefer cranking this here, you get the full bloom, then attenuating it a bit so the speaker doesn't get that hot signal. It stays a bit tighter and cleaner than without attenuation. So the Fryette is so good, so I actually prefer to attenuate the sound a little bit, because it doesn't change no matter how much I attenuate. But we'll get into that soon, like I said. Okay, let's keep it at 5. So yeah, the way I hear it, it dullens the tone, especially the high end. Maybe a little bit the low end, you know, oomph, but that's understandable because now the speaker isn't moving as much because I'm attenuating quite a bit. Okay, then there's these speaker tone kind of preset EQs. There's a bypass, Jennifer, Jimmy, David, George, and Eric. On a Fryette, there's presence and depth again, continuous. You know, the more you attenuate, usually, if I'm attenuating a lot, I'm just dialing this a little bit in. The way I attenuate, I have these usually set around 9 o'clock, maybe 10. I've got tiny amount, so I can really match the attenuated sound without the attenuated. It's I can't tell the difference. And then this has these deep, warm and flat, and edge, bright and flat. To me, when the deep, this lower switch is at warm and this is at bright, it's like without one. Then you can make it flatter and darker or more bottom on brighter. But in center, I feel it's like, okay. Let's check out what this one does. I think these are like preset EQs. So now it's just the speaker and microphones, no additional EQing. Okay, let's see. Change the highs a bit. Okay, then Jimmy. That sounds quite boxy. Okay, maybe these would work differently depending what microphones I have. But right now I have a 57 and then I blended in the ribbon mic a bit. Okay, no. David. That's like really bad T75. The signal comes from like behind a blanket. No. George. Oh. Eric. Okay, no. Well, I personally, remember these are personal opinions, I didn't like these speaker tone things. I like the tone to be how I mic the speaker, where I put the mics, and whether I attenuate it or not, I want it to sound the same. This clearly doesn't, it changes it quite a lot. Well, which, I mean, personal opinions, it might be a good thing, you know, but this Jennifer is actually, I kind of like this. If I would have a brighter amp, really, this would probably, because it changed the high. I feel like there's just a, you know, high and low cut a little bit like that. Okay, so but bypass is my thing. And then there's well, now I need to switch a few cables, because now we check the attenuator. I guess it's fine, it's like most attenuators, but not as good as the Fryette power station, because that just doesn't change the tone, no matter how much you attenuate. And you can attenuate, you know, like this continuously, not like this. Okay, let's check out the built-in analog cabinet responses, which, you know, you could call impulse responses, but since this isn't digital, this is analog. They're basically, like this says, line EQ, different EQ curves. So I need to connect a XLR cable to my audio interface from this, and then you know, you will hear how it is, and then at the end I'm gonna compare the attenuator with the Fryette, because then I need to connect certain cables again. But okay, now let's check out the line out and the built-in analog speaker simulator. All right, so now there's an XLR cable behind here to my audio interface. Full attenuation, so we're not gonna hear now any mic speaker, but we will in a bit. And then yeah, so let's see. So here's the line out level. So I matched it because it's running pretty loud. I have a pad on my audio interface, and then I you know, tweak it with this. This is without an you know, impulse response or a line EQ, like analog EQ curve that emulates a frequency response of a certain cabinet and speaker, and they are labeled Memphis, Liverpool, Hamburg, Nashville, and the city I was born in, Helsinki, Finland. Okay, let's try the Memphis now. Huge low end. With these settings, I'm not gonna touch the settings now, so this is more like apples to apples, but definitely too much lows, quite muddy. Let's see what the hard and soft does. Okay, so the soft cuts highs, I don't like that, it's too even muddier. Okay, so let's keep it on hard. Watch, this is amp to line out. Okay, so pre or post, well, it does some things, probably depending how I've connected this. Okay, Memphis, and now the speaker tone is bypassed. Let's see what that does. Jennifer. Well, to me they sound the same. maybe it only works with the attenuator. Okay, so let's forget that. Okay, then Liverpool. Hamburg. Okay, then there's a blend. So now let's switch to microphone and open the cabinet. So I guess you could hear. I don't need to say what do I think about these. Yeah. Yeah, so this is real mic'd cabinet. Okay, and then back to the let's use the Helsinki, you know, speaker curve. I don't know. Okay, let's use the Helsinki and let's blend. Now it's the mic, and let's blend this, you know, analog speaker simulator in. Just the gap. Okay, so at least with what I consider to be a good sound with my setup, my guitar 5150, I don't find this usable at all. And then what you can do is you can, because now the two microphones, I have summed them. They're in another room with radials 2-to-1 summing mixer. So I'm getting one signal, one mic cable that goes to one of the inputs of my audio interface. I could put it here, because here's also mic input and here's mic in gain and tone, so I could probably change that. I'm not gonna test that out because I don't need to change my mic tone, because I put the microphones in a way that I like what I'm getting in there. I don't need any extra stuff to make things more complicated. So, okay. Then what we're gonna do next, I'm gonna record a riff with this attenuator set to 5 and everything else bypass just the attenuator. Then I need to switch cables to the Fryette, so I will edit that. You will hear them, you know, after each other without me thinking. I'm pretty sure I know which will sound better, but let's listen first. So, conclusion. Well, I guess you heard it with your own ears, or if your ears are completely different than mine, then you probably didn't hear it. I think it's okay. It's like most attenuators, the more you attenuate it gets darker, and then this speaker tone, I didn't really like any of these. I would much rather to have it like a presence and depth, you know. The more you attenuate, so you can add a bit of a presence and depth to the sound, so the speaker reacts, you know, like, or sounds like it would sound full blast. These analog EQ curves emulating a cabinet and speaker sounds, well, I didn't like any of them at all. To me, I've been recording and working in studios, and it's just, maybe these are personal opinions, but to me they didn't sound good. Not anything when I mic as couple of cabinets, different speakers, not even close. Then there's these, you can have your line in microphone in there and tweak the tone here. There's tone knob. I didn't even try that because to me, not interested, because like I said, when I put microphones in front of a cabinet, I put them the way that it satisfies my ear. I don't need anything extra there. And there's effect loop, which I didn't try. That's probably, you know, effect loop, so you could put your, you know, delays or reverbs here. If you have amps that don't have effect loop, like this hand-wired Plexi or my old Marshall JCM 800s, there's no effect loop, so you can have this. Why I like Fryette's Power Station, I think it's easily the best attenuator I've ever tried. That's why I have it. There's these 3 controls, like I said, where you can change the sound. To me, when they are center, it's like natural, like how my amps and cabs sounds without. Then you have these, you know, presence and depth controls that are not like stepped, so you can dial in, you know, your attenuated sound to be exactly like a non-attenuated sound with all the bottom and top end. I usually have these around 9, just a tiny amount, or if I'm playing really late hours and attenuating more, I might add a little bit, because I know how my amps and how the cabinets sound. If I feel that it's lacking something when I'm attenuating more, I'm adding a little bit here. So with the Fryette, and the Fryette is tube based. You know, there's 6x50 tubes, very neutral sounding power amp. So how this works is that it attenuates the signal, then it amplifies it again. So the cabinet sees an actual tube amp. I think that's the secret with this one. The amplifier sees a tube amplifier, and this is then the tube amplifier's level, the volume. There's no tubes on this one. It's just like your basic reactive attenuator, although I'm not sure how well it did the reactive thing, because I felt the more you attenuate it, the more I attenuated, the more duller it got. So, but thanks to MusiX for letting me try this out. You can buy these both at MusiX, the Palmer and the Fryette Power Station. my personal opinion and recommendation is definitely the Fryette power station. Sorry, Palmer, not for me. But maybe to someone else, and I'm pretty sure many people will like this, because these are all just personal preferences and opinions and how we're used to, work. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative. Until next time, take care. Bye.